Everything's ready. We'll
Yep.
get started.
Already.
We'll call this meeting to order of the Somerset Town Board on Wednesday, July 8th, 2026. Now, just so everyone knows, this meeting is being recorded and is connected for a Zoom link. So people can dial in remotely. We'll do a roll call. And down there.
Present.
Jason.
Jermaine present.
Clerk present.
Witzman present.
Denley present.
Members are present. We'll do pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda as provided.
That motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Agenda stays. Public input. Do we have anyone? Larry?
If possible, I'd like to reserve a spot to say something if I need to do on the 60th Street update.
Sure, that's fine. We don't have, Jeff just sent an update this afternoon. And the person that is awarding the grants, it sounds like, or the person with the DNR was out on medical leave. And she's back and she said they aren't gonna award those grants until later this fall. So there is no update at all on that at this time. So, and I don't believe he's dialing in either. Correct, so, okay. Any other public input? We'll move on to the next, we'll do the clerk's report first, take a look at the previous minutes. Give everybody a minute to take a look at them. Do I hear a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Motion by Jermaine, seconded by Witzman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We'll take a look at the treasurer's report. With the AGov on the Twin Springs Park, are we quite a bit ahead the past years? You don't need to run toll now, but
Coming in both ways. Showing up on paper and make of. So, but for the annual permits, I've sold a lot. I had to actually get more stickers last week.
good.
Never had to do that, so
Good thing.
And no issues down there that I know
I haven't heard of any.
Is there any update on the self-storage units in R2?
County District 2 report from Danny has a little bit on it later on the agenda.
I just didn't see it on the agenda. I just want to make sure.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report for June.
of. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Witzman, seconded by Hamlin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We'll jump in the building inspector's report. They implemented a new permitting system where you can apply online. It sounds like it's working okay.
They said they've got the permit process times decreased from 5 business days to 2 to 3 working days.
We do have 6 new homes from the month of June. The homes total $2,561,726. Plus then with renovations, residential. Total for all construction for improvements was $2,967,726. Actually, including the pools and other accessories, it was $3,650,000.
It's amazing what them cost. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get a response back from them in regards to the values that were coming in, and it was not due to the system?
I didn't seem to think it was due to the system.
Said Barrett, catch up to him if that's the email.
Yeah,
Barrett is aware.
maybe building just got a lot cheaper this month.
Yeah, I know.
Really, the only one it might affect is the building inspector, because once they get their CO and Barrett goes out there, he assesses it, and we will receive taxes based on the assessment for the next full year, so.
Building inspectors paid upon square footage finished.
Yeah. So that number really doesn't. Yeah. I think maybe they feel good if they,
Make a motion to approve the report as prepared.
No, second.
Motion by Jermaine, seconded by Demling. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Next we'll do the animal control report.
one question I had, and I should have asked you offline, was the call pickup fee looks like during the day is $100. It must be after a certain period of time, it goes to 175. Because I noticed the call pickup for two of them were 100 and one was 175.
At the time of 8:23 p.m.
Yeah, so evening calls are, okay.
Holidays are probably more too.
Yeah. I'd make a motion to approve the monthly animal report.
Do I hear a second to that?
Second.
Motion by Witzman, seconded by Karati. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Travis's report for the month of June. This month they responded to 58 calls for service. Breakdown is as follows: 25 calls in the village, consisting of 18 medicals and 7 fire rescues. They had 19 calls in the township, consisting of 10 medicals and 9 fire rescues. They also had 14 mutual aid calls, 10 in St. Joe and 4 in Star Prairie. Brings us to a run total of 292 for this year, compared to 228 last year, in 2025. The month of June didn't slow down. As you can see, we are already 64 calls ahead of last year. There were no calls of significance in either the village or the township this month. They're looking to add 4 new members this month after we lost 3 to family and time commitments. They're also promoting 2 to full-time status from probationary status. The strategic plan was delivered and adopted at the April joint meeting. We are excited to finally get a plan specific for the fire department and look forward to working with the boards to obtain said goals that are laid out in the plan. We will be meeting with the fire commission this Thursday to discuss the RFP with the village has put together, discuss the town's wishes as to joining in on the process or letting the village move forward alone. After promotions, hiring, and members leaving, they will be operating with 31 personnel, 19 full-time members, 9 probationary members, 1 honorary member, and 1 high school cadet and their secretary. I again encourage every board member to spend some time with myself and the other members touring the entire station and understanding what and how we operate and what we have. We also welcome visitors and are more than willing to give tours and show members of the community the trucks and equipment and educate them on the operations of the department. Thanks, Travis. And as a reminder, there is a fire rescue commission. We probably will have additional people there. Is that what the plan is then, by not having a meeting tomorrow night?
Additional as I think it's just every now.
Just a normal then?
Yeah, because I don't think he had that additional village one, but he made.
So are you having that at 8 o'clock or 6
It's
o'clock?
gonna be 8 o'clock, because the planning commission, we do have items on the planning commission this time, so.
Yeah, that's on that too, so she has to come.
Yeah.
From that to that.
So,
So that's
Can you,
July.
clarify, Travis, the RFP that the village has put together?
We can send it to you. So basically, so that's, I was trying to get a fire commission meeting prior to this, so we could have a discussion, then they could come back here and get a discussion. So the village is putting together an RFP, it's basically 3 different studies. Regarding future plans, so one of them being like a GIS study with. Churn out where the calls are located, et cetera, to say, hey, the fire station. Doesn't necessarily belong here, this is not the appropriate place for it, the actual spot is over here, or whatever. The other 2 studies, like I was trying to draw, I'm drawing some
RFP and RFQ.
RFP and RFQ, so proposals and quotes, just basically.
Qualifications, actually,
Okay,
so,
well,
yeah.
sorry. Like, what do they do? Yeah, you could, well, you were there too. I'm drawing a blank on that. It's basically go out to different architects. So it'll be looking at, so we had a gentleman in from 5 Bugles. Not the 5 Bugle guy that did our strategic plan, but it's a different company. And we just sat down and talked to him and trying to talk, well, where are we going? What should we be doing right now? As Doug mentioned before the meeting, that adding the police department in there changes things, but it really doesn't. You can, and there are ways to build a public safety facility that both the town and the village have ownership in. Township covers just the portion, the fire department side of it, they don't, the village is all police department, and then they share that, the fire department portion. So there are ways to do these buildings, to be cost savings for everybody by having both in there. So we're just trying to put it out, and this is, it just goes out saying, just basically for them to come back and say, here's what we can do, here's what it's gonna cost to put that study together. And then we will proceed from there.
So who's actually putting this together for the village?
So the village wrote one up because they didn't know if the township wanted anything to do with it, so they're gonna go, no matter what.
So when you say they, I mean,
Joel
is it,
Tripchuk, the police chief, put it together, put it to the board accepted it, but then they put it on hold, waiting to hear what the town wants to do. So they're waiting until the joint meeting to have a discussion about that, whether the town wants to join in on that, or just let the village run with it. The village runs with it, then, and they end up deciding to build a fire station or whatever they do. Everything kind of, I don't know how it's gonna work out, I don't know how the future looks for that side of it. So try to include everybody, try to make it, we should all be working.
no,
together.
I'm not, I'm just
Right.
curious on what it says here, and is it their engineering firm, or is it just Joel doing it?
Joel put it together, he wrote it, this guy, I believe, is gonna send or did send other ones up for him to look through as well, to give him some ideas, clarify what the company is. But it is written solely from the village's viewpoint, like, everything comes back, everybody on that board is like Bob Gunther, the village board members, blah, blah, different people like that, where. From the township came in, we'd have people from the town involved in it as well. So right now, there's 0 cost, and it's not.
No, I get it. So, well.
Can I just clarify, because I think you were asking for somebody from the town board to attend, and I think Doug was not available to. So I went, and I did send minutes out to the board, so you had information from what that meeting was. And it basically, 5 Bugles was representing their firm, and I forget the name of the firm, and I've got it in the minutes probably from that meeting. But just to talk about the process. If you think about it from the savings standpoint, public safety and adding that in, you're thinking, well, do we have to pay for half of the public safety or the police side of that? Probably, if you look at long range, what the cost savings might be by combining those is that you're gonna have common spaces. So if you have 60,000 square feet for the fire and 40,000 for the fire police, and I'm just throwing these numbers out, you're gonna save some money because you're gonna have common areas. Maybe 20,000 square feet is something that's gonna be used by both departments. So then you start looking at the shares, and by combining those, the police are gonna pay for, their percentage of that, which is basically the village, plus the village is gonna pay for their percentage of that same space that's gonna be used by the fire department. So there's an opportunity to save money by doing it jointly. Right away, and I encourage them, and I think this is why Travis is here tonight, to make sure that the township was included right from the beginning versus seeing a report at the end. I think we just want to make sure that we're included from the start of it, and that's what, I think Travis is here tonight to explain what the process is. Joel probably started that, but, we have the ability to, as a town board, to have input into it.
Yeah, it goes back to, if you remember when we had that study that we threw the extra, I don't know, 5,000, whatever that was a couple years ago, the AHG or whatever the company was called. It was like an afterthought, like they were already doing it, and then, like, oh, we should bring the township in. We're trying to avoid that clearly, that was not a good study, not how we wanted to go. So we're trying to do it the right way to do it. The, including everybody from the get-go. I just, I think it's in everybody's better interest to play together. Whether the town's growing anywhere near the village, doesn't really matter, because the fire department's owned by both of you, and it should be 50-50. Unfortunately, it gets used over more over there, that's a whole other deal that we can deal with down in the future, but. You can't, I mean, you just approved $3 million in homes, I mean, I don't know what. The values and stuff, I mean, your actual 2% money, it went up this year, the villages went down. So even with all the building, their 2% money actually went down. So there is some value in how much you guys are using, so, the fire department is there for, or protecting, if you will. You may not go on out every more calls or whatever, but we're protecting a lot bigger things in the township than we are in the village. But the RFQ, and I can send it to you.
No, it's fine. I just want to I was just curious on where they came up with it and who was in charge of it. Right.
It comes from that first study that said, when they went in and said public works, village, and offices, fire, police, $20 million building. And everybody's like, well, we can't do that. So then they started looking at, all right, well, maybe public works just needs some storage space. Now they're looking at just building heated storage to put their trucks inside. That's all they really need, is what they're coming to. I don't know where the village hall is at. At one time, they were talking about just building a business type, I don't know if you want to call it a row, storefront, where they're kind of an office, but there's other stuff above and next to them or whatever. And then police and fire are kind of still sitting there. They're trying to figure out what it makes sense to have us together. Like Tim said, the cost savings with whether it's conference spaces, training areas, things that we don't have now that we can all share, because they don't have them either. We both need them, we just don't have them. So it's kind of the goal of it. And I think it was, and when kind of John said, it's like 15 grand per of each study, so it's like a $45,000. What they assume the cost will be about $45,000 to do the study. So and then that would come back with, what do you need, where do you need it, how big do you need it, that kind of stuff. So
out of that 45,000, how much of that's just fire department? Does that include the police too?
yeah, that's the entire bill, like the study for the whole.
Yeah, but the study for the police department doesn't really pertain to the town in any way.
No, but I mean, you guys can figure out the numbers. And just, again, you want to do your own study and pay $40,000 for just the fire department, or do you want to split that with the village and try to work together? And that's where I think everything's kind of coming from, is that trying to do everything on your own. If you guys want to say, all right, do a study to figure out what the fire department actually needs. We've got a strategic plan that says what we need. I mean, it's clearly obvious what we need. It's about how do you want to get to that point. And right now, the way we're going, it's not working. We can't add on again. There's just nothing made it. You can't keep growing. I mean, we're gonna have 600. We're gonna be almost 100 calls ahead of last year by the time this year's done. The way it's going.
Is this strictly building or is this vehicles also? I mean, are we looking at?
Right now,
Equipment?
we're just talking building.
Okay.
Fully, just a new building. We do have that engine in there as well, that with, it comes out when you're building the building, if you want to consider financing that engine into that. Again, may not be a bad idea, but right now we're strictly just talking building. That's it, that's offices, HVAC, I mean, everything, the full build of it. We're not looking to do anything to make architectural design boards or things like that, but something that we can work on for the next 50, 60, 70 years. We can't do that out of that. I'm not gonna be, they can't do that.
So one of the assumptions a lot of people are making is that they're co-owned. And now I wasn't involved with the legal opinion the last time they did this, but it came back that municipalities can't own properties in the other municipality. So we'd have to have a legal opinion that it can be done before we even
So
go
how
down
do you
that.
there you guys both own that, correct?
Counties.
But you guys co-own it, right? I mean, it's together.
That was done in the early 70s as a dump.
I-
Look at Jim that was here from 5 years, it was very clear that it can be done, it can happen, it's not something that can't be done, it's happens all over. The village of Rothschild, I think was one that he brought up, that has the same situation.
We would have to get a legal opinion on that though, just to make sure if we're pursuing that or even think of it though. We wanna have a clear path. I mean, even just borrowing money, the town typically does not borrow a lot of money. We ran into issues this year when we borrowed for 205th. So for us to go and do a long-term borrowing plan, whether it's with the village or however we're doing that, we just need to make sure we're going down the right path and we're talking to the right people so that.
And again, these companies that are out there that are gonna do this stuff are gonna help you through a lot of that too. You know, unfortunately, I don't know how you guys finance 205th, but you didn't do it anyway, similar to how the village finances things and takes loans out. And so these companies are gonna direct you into those kind of things, like what the village does is how, you know, how they take their loans and stuff. You know, I don't know what happened on 205th, but I know it's not, you know, it seems like most government loans are fairly low interest and large, you know, time to pay them off and whatnot.
You gotta do the study in order to receive the grants too.
Right. So I mean, I don't, like I said, I want to get this going ahead of time before the joint meeting, so it's not a huge long discussion there and try to get you guys either on board or saying, no, we're just gonna let the village do it. So that they know coming into it, because they have a timeline that they want to get that thing out and September 22nd, something like that, if I remember right. They want to get it going, they don't want to sit around, so. I don't know, you're still talking a couple, you know, you could be, well, I think Jim said you could be building by next year. Legitimately. If everything went right.
Does the village have a location? Because when I talked to Kern,
Again,
it
that's one
can't
of
be
the
in any of
studies.
this his.
Yes, that's what one of the studies, one of the $15,000 studies tells me where to put it. We can't just assume that this is where the station should be. This is where it got put just because this is where the township was, town hall was. Things have changed, Somerset continues to grow that way, whatever way. You don't know just because the highway's right there. Everybody here thinks, and I agree that I think this is the great spot. However, it may not be the best. That's what they try to do, is try to put you strategically where you should be. And then you have to figure out, well, how do you do that? Yeah. So.
Okay.
I did talk to the Towns Association. I'm just kind of curious about that. They're one resource, but obviously they're not going to commit to anything. But they said there's probably some options and they used some examples. So, you know, we need to check into it further, probably. One of the things that when you talk about funding, there's companies like Ellers and Associate that does long-term municipal borrowing, and I'm sure they would have experience. At some point, it may make sense to have them come and speak to the board and talk about what options they provide. And with specific questions we might have about joint financing, whether it's possible to joint finance a fire hall or not, so. Because that's all they do is municipal. Well, I shouldn't say it's all they do, but a majority of what they do is municipal financing.
There's also like the state, I know you made a comment, what a fire station was I brought up, that was a Amy Baldwin, that project. You know, I don't know, after the first of the year, when you start getting onto those US senators and state senators and get in their year, and that becomes, and you become one of their projects, they get that money that they have to determine what they're gonna do with it, and this is something they deem essential or whatever, however they do it. You know, there's options like that. So that's why sitting back and waiting is not, you know, that's why I was trying to stay on top of it. That's why I'm gonna be here every month, because I don't want to let it go. Like, we got the strategic plan, we're doing some of the stuff that we were told that we should do, we're making changes on that stuff, so we're trying to just all over, so. We know it's not cheap, you know, we know it's not gonna be cheap, but something we have.
You know, if the village is gonna go to a referendum, then ask
They're not, I don't think they want to, I don't think they have any desire to. So I think like Tim just said, with Ailers, they do a lot of stuff with Ailers just, does, I think, all their financial stuff, it seems like they do tips and all their projects and whatnot. So.
So the village operates totally different than the township does, where they work on a borrow. I mean, they don't really save up capital funding. When they get a project, they just borrow it 100%.
Right.
When we did talk to the people at at Teresa Johnson's meeting down there, all the municipalities that we're putting in new fire departments, we're charging for all runs.
Yeah, I think I clarified on that. I talked to St. Joe, they collected $5,000 last year. They did not pay for the St. Joe's town hall. You know, Roberts is probably 25,000. I think he said they might get in. That's not paying for a new fire station. That's not a payment for, I mean, they're just telling you that they're calling, that they're charging for all this stuff. you gotta have someone that's gonna bill, you gotta have someone that's gonna collect, you know, all that stuff. It's very particular on what they're charging for. They're not charging for every call they go. So it's, yeah, I talked to the St. Joe chief right after that meeting, because I was like, she's saying that you guys are charging for everything. He's like, no, we're not. We're lucky if we get 5,000-6,000 a year. So they're definitely not financing the fire stations with that stuff. So
Okay.
that's pretty small, insignificant amount of money.
Would be curious to know just a ballpark figure so that the taxpayers could see that, because what is the rate gonna be per thousand, you know, or $100,000 valuation, you know, so if you got a
Without
$1,000,000 house.
the studies have no idea like how big does it have to be, where it's gonna be, you have to buy land, you know, I mean, there's so many parts to it that without the study, you don't know, you can't answer quite, you're putting the horse behind the cart because you don't have the answer, you don't have the data to give you the answers that you're looking for. So you have to get that data, otherwise you can make assumptions, you know, I can tell you, yeah, I think it's gonna be a $10 million building. I don't know, I have no idea.
And the other thing, piece of that is that the school board, when they go before the taxpayers on a referendum, and you can have binding and non-binding referendums, they have an estimated dollar amount that they got from a study or from an architect to put together initial plans. Plus, they've talked to, you know, municipal bonding agency that can tell them what the cost is over a 20-year period. What is going to be the impact on taxes? So a lot of that is important information. I think just to go in before the township residents and say, would you support a new fire hall? You have to put together a case, and they want to know what's it going to cost me.
There's a lot of education.
Yeah.
Gonna come with anything that happens. New truck, there's gonna be a lot of education. But we still operate, I mean, these people moving over from the cities come over here with the expectation of a full-time fire department, because that's what they have. And when they find out we have 0 full-time people, they're, what the heck? And they don't understand, why does it take 20 minutes from when the pager goes out, when I call 911 before somebody shows up at the house? Well, we come from the house, we get the station, and then go to the call. And that's, they have high expectations, and we're not delivered, we can't continue to deliver. I mean, we're doing a couple, 3, 4 calls a day sometimes, and like if we're getting 1 or 2 people that can show up, you know, daytime response, just burnout, you name it.
Did anybody dive into why the village's 2% dues went down with all their new houses?
That's that whole
Okay.
mental configuration that I've known. It's all about your insurance, some premiums, whatever they're paying. So, however that's figured out with that, between that and whatever else they figured, I don't know. But it did go down, but it was like, you know, minimal, couple $100. But you guys went up, so it was interesting to see that.
But they've got an additional 100 homes too.
Right, with the growth that's going in, you would think that there would have gone up as well, but it didn't.
So let me ask you this as we're talking about, when do you see full-time coming into the department?
For the strategic plan, yeah, they already think that we should have 1 person. Now, I don't think it should be the fire chief. I think it should be like a full-time fire inspector type person that's doing inspections, can do other miscellaneous things that, and all the stuff that I can't get done as the chief, because I just don't have time. I have a job and a family. And there's a lot of requirements on us, that's what we're supposed to be getting done. And if we get caught not doing it at some point, some of the stuff, I mean, I do the stuff that has to be done, so we're not losing 2% money, things like that. But there are pre-plans that we should have for every business. We've got.
And I get all the paperwork, but does that help the response time, 1 person full-time?
So that'll
Because
help your ISO rating, because you will have 1 person, because that person will be there every day during the week that would respond. So you have 1 person that you know for sure.
is that 24/7 or is that just,
It'll be a daytime, 8 hours a day type thing.
because I'd be curious to see how that
You have to
would
start
affect.
somewhere.
No, I get that, but
I mean,
I just,
Hudson's no different. I mean, Hudson started out with just a fire inspector, then they went to a full-time chief, now they've got 3 fire inspectors, now they're gonna go to a full-time fire department. Granted, there are 30-some thousand people in the city, but
right.
you
Is
just.
that person still going run too?
Yeah.
But
But
he
with,
actually goes out, like your full-time chief goes out overnight.
but with that will come more money too, so I'm just saying, this is all in the big picture, that's gotta be educated to the people, because
Right. And
it's a lot of
anything-
money.
Anything you look at, I mean, they're having problems up, where's the northern Wisconsin, ambulance services. I mean, it's the volunteer side of things and the people that you're getting to do this job for nothing are going away. I mean, we got a hell of a great group that just came in the last 4, 5 or 6 people that came in are awesome. We're not, that doesn't happen. You don't hear about that very often with departments that are getting like good recruitment, and we're still getting decent numbers coming in. But eventually that changes, and you just don't have the. I mean, we still can't get above 30. Even though at 30 is my max as far as people that respond. The 31, it's got the secretary, the honorary guy, the cadet, things like that. But we still can't even fill out at 30. So there's, I don't know, but at some point you have to consider that full-time side of things. But unfortunately, what you're gonna end up running is some kind of daytime duty crew at some point. I would think the busier it gets, you're just gonna have to that Monday through Friday and supplement it with volunteers. Like Hopedale Fire, that's how they did it for years. They're a volunteer fire department. Then they went to like duty crews and full-time people during the days, and then then they turn it 24/7. All volunteers become full-time, 100%. So just the evolve, how everything evolves. And they run full-time with like 5 people on shift, 6 people, and they call in mutually from Maple, North St. Paul, what everybody comes around the house at every fire. They all go to each other's stuff. It's just the way of how it's going. And that's what we brought up before, like countywide fire departments, similar to like United Fire has Baldwin, Hammond, Woodville. They shared costs, there's ways again that they can work together to save money between municipalities. But you're not gonna get buy-in from Hudson, who's going full time. They're not gonna want to join in on the countywide fire department at this point, obviously. So things that, we have to take care of our people in our community and gotta figure out how to do it. And unfortunately, it's gonna come with costs.
Travis, they're doing a study with the police department and fire department together. What breaks you apart? I mean, obviously the fire department might need to go that way to where police department works here. Or are they gonna try to make it work neutral for both?
Or just location or just.
Yeah, because your location might work better somewhere else. Away from the police
I
department.
mean, if you think about a police department, is their location that relevant to their response? I mean, they are all patrolling in their squads, what I mean? And if they have an office where people go to, it doesn't really matter how far, where that is. Granted, it's probably gonna be in the village no matter what. I mean, that'd be my guess. So it's gonna pan out or where the study will show, but I just don't see that being too big of a deal, even if it was just on the outskirts of the village.
Well, no, if they're doing the study and if we were contributing to it, I'd like to see it. Where does it fit the fire department the best versus the police department, if that's their deal? And
I can't speak for them. I would think that the fire department would be one of the biggest driving forces, honestly, just because of the volunteers. Because of how we don't operate as a full-time department. Just because we're responding, even if you're full-time, you're responding from that station to an incident. So where the police runs they could be on the other side of the village and the call comes out on the other side of the village.
So there's the sheriff's office.
Right, the sheriff's so something happens in Somerset and they just had an incident down in Glenwood City and now they're all flying up here from there. It's just, they have that, they move around the county, same police department, but it's not any different, I wouldn't think. Sheriff's department has satellite offices, they use it to start their town hall, things like that, but help for paperwork and stuff, but.
So the GIS is basically for the fire department, it's not.
It's really kind of how it sounded, really, it was more the response of the fire department membership, where the calls are.
And that just looks at all the past runs over the last, 3-year period or something?
Whatever data that we give them.
Well, it's a big step.
It
You
is.
just gotta be patient, because
Right,
Town
I
doesn't move
I
fast.
think I've been patient, I've been asking for 10+ years, I've been asking for a lot of this stuff for a while now, and it's like. I'm not getting any younger and I'd prefer to get the fire department in the right direction before I'm gone. So that's my goal. Trying to set it up for the future. And granted, none of us in this room are gonna be on the board of the fire department 20 years from now, but it would really be in our best interest to set them up for what's coming and what's, it's how we gotta, how I live and how I understand it's not my money, but it's just a necessary evil that you have to provide to the community. And if we don't, then their insurance rates are gonna go up and then they're gonna be mad that you didn't do this, and so everything kind of plays a little circle.
well, when you're spending other people's monies, it seems easy. But somebody's gotta be accountable for it, so.
Right.
So you're thinking that study's about 40-some grand?
They figure about 15 per study. There's 3 different things that they would hit in there. And I can ask Joel to be at this joint meeting. I imagine he'd be fine because it's at the village where he can.
On the decision, it'd be nice to see a presentation on it, so.
Right, and just prepare him for that, because he's got a couple. Yeah, after whatever. 2 weeks almost, yeah, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So just because then you can answer more. I mean, I've read through it. It's a lengthy document. It's not.
I think
So what
there's-
would the cost be to the town out of that 45,000?
Well, what?
What's,
The
like,
town's
what-
cost, or?
yeah,
That's something you guys would have to discuss. You know, I know that there's discussion like the fire department equipment, things like that should be 50-50. That's kind of the conversation on that end right now on their side. And I kind of agree with them that operationally is where you start looking at 60% of the calls are in the village, so you pay operationally 60% is covered by the village, 40 by the town. The equipment you both need, it's preparation, it's not use, it's about preparation and having equipment to do the job. So the 57, 43, all that different stuff that we've been doing, I think needs to go away when it comes to capital type stuff, buildings, trucks, things like that. And then operationally is where you start looking at the separation of the percentages there. So, I mean, on the study, how you figure that out when it's police and fire built into it. That's kind of the discussion you guys would have to have, how you want to split that. And the village is gonna be happy to get I would think anything out of you guys, because they're gonna do this no matter what. It's not, and then they do it, there's a good chance that the fire department gets pushed aside and they just go and do it, feel like a police department.
if we don't do it, is that what you're saying?
That's what Donnie kind of made, when I talked to him, he just kind of sounds like, there's a chance that we won't be able to do it without the township's assistance. So they're gonna have to focus on what the PD side of it. But whether that's the case or not, it's just the comment that was made, as we're just chatting.
And if it comes back at the $20,000 or $20 million mark again, is the village gonna say, well, that's all of our means?
Well, I don't know how, whatever, 20 million was like public works, village hall,
They had a-
police, fire.
They had a brochure and it had all the different buildings they built over the course of the last 10 years with price tags on them all, and there was quite a few buildings between the $7,000 to $12,000 range. Or million, yeah.
Yeah, most of it, because that's that book that Donnie gave me to get people. That was,
Why can't we scan that in and send that out?
I will.
yeah, I don't have it. They're supposed to supply us with
Here we
two
go.
ones.
Is it the same book you had?
That's the one that you guys
I
have
know.
here.
So I'll get that scanned in and send out to the board tomorrow. Well, thank you for your service, Travis, and thanks for keeping us on task.
Thank you.
Here.
What's this one?
County Board District 2. Before we jump in, any other comments anybody wants to make?
No,
And Shane does bring up a good point. When we do have that, we move to full-time. I mean, this would be just for capital improvements. So when you do move to full-time personnel, there's gonna be a cost there too.
Right.
When you're gonna build the building for that as well, to plan for the future. You're not gonna put the refrigerators in and all that for like 3 shifts and things like that that you, but you're gonna build rooms for, bunk rooms and things like that. You're gonna do it for the future, because it's gonna come. If you don't do it, you're gonna be sitting.
Right. I just want to make sure we're looking at the full picture, not just the fire. Yeah.
County Board District 2 report from Danny Erickson.
just a note, under the data center ordinance update. After our meeting last time, we talked about sending a letter to the county, so Doug sent a letter down to Jason and he did a nice return.
Did a good job on that.
But so it's on the radar for community development to look at changes to chapter 15, including the self-storage units, possibly taking those off of the use list under R1, R2. So if you think about it, if they're going to be opening up chapter 15, I'd recommend look at those uses, and if there's some other uses that you think are not compatible with our, strategic vision for the town, whether it be campgrounds or who knows what else, now's the time to do it because we're asking them to make some changes based on ours. Some of the things that have impacted our township.
Did provide a map at all of the nitrate monitoring? They didn't provide a map at all, did they?
We have to watch something.
Yeah. I wonder if go to the minutes, it might be included in there.
Okay. Thanks for doing that, Tim.
With being on the county stuff, Jerry, first Monday of the month was just the other day. Did we get any applications?
No more.
And we haven't heard of anything back from the one on County Road I.
The one.
Next we'll jump into Parks Rec and Planning Commission report. No meeting, so no report for that.
Well, storage unit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I got a call from, Justin, not Justin, who's disc golf, Justin Coran, and he mentioned that they had to take out some additional trees, and so there's some stumps out there. And I said, why don't you put together a list of, because I know they've cut down other trees and stuff. And we did at one point, Joe went out there with or we rented a chipper from one of the implement dealers, I think maybe the one down in Hudson, and did some chipping. So he hasn't provided me with a list, but at some point would like to be able to let him know whether or not we support having a chipper go down there and do some additional chipping from some of the stumps. Any thoughts on that? It would come out of the park fund.
No, not opposed to it, just that let's do it efficiently so that you're
Yeah,
not doing it multiple times, so once you get the rental, then it's at least a half day or a full day operation, so.
It's something they can operate. Don't they get a skid steer too once in a while, rent a skid steer?
yeah, we rented a skid steer with the chipper right on it, and Joe went out there and
Oh, gotcha.
because we had a whole row of red pines that we had to take the stumps
So
out.
it is the whole, when they built some of their tee boxes and stuff, haven't they rented skid steers?
They have
Them guys-
rented that, but I think when we're dealing with a skid steer and a chipper, I'd rather have our staff do it, so. Our work. I don't know, should we wait till we hear back from him? Cause I said, put together a list, so you've got it all over. You know where all the stumps are that need to be removed, and then we can move forward versus just doing this one row that they cut out. Cause I know they've got other locations.
What do you do with the rest of the tree?
They typically will cut up the chunks of the tree and line the edges of the fairways. So, and I'm assuming that's what they did here. Well, why don't we just wait until they get back, and if we have to wait till the August meeting to do the chipping after the August meeting, we'll do it that way.
And I will tell the board the fee is gonna be going up, cause I'm pretty much mowing the whole entire mowable areas now. Wouldn't you say? Pretty close. And it's turning out really nice, but it's just
You going in there once a week or?
every other week.
Every other week.
So just so you know.
Can't get in.
Well, they can get in there, but it's hard when they're mowing ditches and then it breaks down and I mow it and they don't mow it and we're on off weeks. It's just nice to have it all mowed at the same time when we've gotten a lot of compliments, so I just.
It'll be another thing we should bring up at the joint meeting, because at one time the village was going to assist
Right.
with that.
Right, so, and that rolling did help, and then when Wally went in this spring and knocked down all whatever was there, and it made it a lot easier, so now it's getting a lot nicer, so I'll just say.
Good. Can you put that on for the joint meeting? That discussion of mowing with Parnell Prairie? When we do
I
it.
can tell Justin.
Thank you.
We were doing alternating years on garbage out there too, weren't we? Or they was
Never.
doing all the garbage.
I think you guys are.
Yeah,
Him and the guys.
I went out there 1 or 2 weekends and
Thought that was the
One
deal
of the-
last. We were gonna do alternating years.
No,
no,
Huh?
Yeah, we have the porta potty too, which is about 100.
No, that was the deal down at the village.
The porta potty rental also is running in the summer, 182.50, in the winter, 192.50 a month.
A box out there like the boat when I mean that.
We do have a donation QRC code or whatever out there. We've had a couple small donations.
But it'd be nice to get some in writing because they, not knocking them, but they change, board members quite often and then it gets slid through the cracks, so.
anything else on the fire rescue, or excuse me, the planning commission? Okay, we'll move into old business, 60th Street update. We'll open Jeff's email here. So Jeff responded that, they did get a response back from the 60th Street DNR grant. And I'll just read the letter from them. And she said, "Hi Jeff, thanks for your patience while I was away on extended medical leave. Right now they're hoping to have awards issued in the fall. I'm resuming the application process, review process in the coming weeks. Typically the time between submitting an MFC complete application and receiving a grant contract, the ranges are from 6 to 12 months, depending on the details of the project, prior type and review process." So, and that's from Elizabeth Pusis. So no update at this time, so
So in the fall.
in the fall. So it would be nice to have
The
something,
date? August?
it'd be
before
nice to have
budget?
something before budget.
Yeah, sort of would like that.
If we don't
before-
plan something, nothing will happen for sure. Till,
Should try to get that before October, the 1st of October. if we get it.
I'll ping Jeff tomorrow to see if he can find a time frame. So even if it was in October, before a meeting,
September.
before October.
We asked him to at least zoom in for our meetings since we have 60th Street and 205th to just have some bigger topics that kind of come up that he'd be able to provide comment back to if we had questions.
Yeah, so he's not the main contact for 205th. It's Carter now, a different person from Jewel who's in the construction area. But he could give updates like if it was on Hillside or something like that. Where we are with those.
What's the guy's name? Carter, yeah.
Um.
Is he from Jewel?
Jewel. Z-check. So. So he's the person that we're working with on 205th right now. So, let's finish up 60th Street, so no other comments on 60th Street right now. So we need to have some, whether we're gonna get the grant and kind of what the cost estimates would be from there. Before
We
we can,
just keep waiting.
so we need to plan, we're gonna budget. Something has to be in the budget for us to make a movement on anything, so. On 205th Avenue project, so total is going pretty hard right now. I think when I was out there on Monday, they had 6 trucks running and an excavator. We met with the Travis. Can't think of what his last name is, on the driveway there on the north side of the Martell property. Where it's a new driveway and it was not to specification. And the plan is to have Jewel give the estimates on elevation. So that it meets the specifications with the 50-foot pad at no greater than 1% or 2% up or down from the center line of the road. And then 10% up from there to see what the estimation would be. So it'll be in writing before anything starts. So for right now, the total is moved further east and avoided that area until then. So going forward, we will get that estimate agreed upon between the developer, the landowner, and the town, and Jewel.
And
What part are we responsible for?
Are we talking about the cost estimate?
The cost and what, at what level. So right now, the driveway doesn't have any gravel on it. They put some brick and rock where they go through. The hill has to be cut down probably 7 feet. It pumps up and drops back down to the house.
But we're not raising or lowering the road, so
The
why?
road is going 5 feet down in that area.
5 feet down.
So, and the driveway was not built to spec to begin with.
Yeah, no.
Why is it going down 5 feet? It's that close to County Road I.
If you go out there, take
There's
a
a
look
little
and see. It's right in the top of a hill.
So had they put in a culvert or anything
The
down?
culvert and everything is in, but they basically did the bare minimum. They didn't cut down on the hill at all. Where we actually bought, I can't remember how many feet from the Martells for a TLE to go up into that hill where we were gonna be excavating to begin with. So on the very peak of the hill, it'll be 7 feet down, to meet our specification is what they thought.
So the Martells sold the TLE and then they sold the 40s. And
Okay,
then the person that bought
Where
the
the driveway
40.
is.
You know,
put it
so they
in
had
the
access to the TLEs.
No, it should have been.
They're
They
the
pled ignorant to begin with, but then when I said that, the road crew guy had talked to him. He had said, oh yeah, I guess we did see something in our paperwork that there was a, limited easement on there. So there's gonna be a lot of excavating on that hill to begin with. The guys from Total said that, it's not that. In the scheme of things for the equipment they have, it's not that much work. They are gonna be removing dirt, which then will go into our borrow. So there'll be less dirt that we'll have to bring in, and it's all pure sand. But when we give it back to them, we are not putting gravel on the driveway because there is no gravel on it right now. And that'll be the understanding, that'll be the developer's responsibility to do that. We will bring it down to grade, but nothing will be taking place until,
Just for the road right there.
correct, no. Because it'd be no different than Scramstead's, where we're going in 100 feet. We're paying for all of that. But there is no reclaim. They can't go in and utilize any of the breaker or anything. There's nothing there to reclaim. So they're gonna come in probably with their excavator, cut down the hill. One of the things is that reason it is as it, because they didn't want to move the fiber optic and another line on the north side of the road there. And they didn't want to do that because they didn't know how far down it was gonna go. So after Wally had talked to him, they said, well, it doesn't make any sense for us to bring it because we don't know how far the road is gonna be cut down. So. So it will be a cost add for the town because it'll be. Something that was not in the original quote to Total. So, and we are gonna ask Jewel to go in and do a quick sketch so that it meets specification when it's done.
Since there's a conversation in that particular spot, that hill's not overly out of the sight line. Could we meet in the middle and not bring the road down quite as far so that we don't have to? Just a thought, I mean, it's not a major sightline problem or traffic problem.
To change that now, I think you gotta go get approval from the state again.
The driveway.
So
That
that-
work? Well, we've looked at it a few times, you've seen it more than any of us. What if they move the driveway to the west?
That probably won't help much. If they go to the east,
It
then
would
it would be a bigger sweep. But
take a drive out there and look at where you can see where totally avoided that area, then
So,
it's gonna get cut down pretty substantially, so we already know that the fiber's gotta get moved down on that side, and I think there's one, Excel's got a. They bored under the road and shot up to a box, they didn't hoe anything in, everything was shot, so they think the electric is already low enough.
So is this FSA's mistake?
No, because the land driveway went in after the design was already done.
Okay.
Well, if they, so that's one option, is we could have had them put in the whole driveway and be done with it. And we'd still be tying in and going back. Cause if we had to build the driveway to meet our specifications, we'd be still going all the way back into the top of that hill. So this way, it's not a waste of either our money or their money. But we are not gonna be, the original intent was they thought that we would be graveling the whole thing, because they don't have any gravel once you get beyond the breaker rock. They didn't gravel anything on the top. So they wanted to wait until the road was done to see what we were gonna do.
Well, at least we're gaining some fill, I guess. So you gotta find a little good out of the bad. Destroy that.
Will you update for this?
Yeah, so as the minute I get something in, I'll send it out to the board.
Estimating cost?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to get, once he gets done with the plan, then go to total, and then total will actually give us a time on earthworks.
What's the total amount they want right now?
we're looking at the,
On the pole.
No, the total, yeah.
draw to request.
Well, let's continue with the agenda. Any other questions on 205th? I haven't heard of any other concerns in any other area at this time. Okay, let's move to request to consider resolution 2000.
Skip the draw to,
Oh, the draw.
No,
Sorry, y'all.
how much is it? What
How often
it's
is-
185, 129.
is that?
He's out there almost every day right now.
22?
Yeah. 185, 129, 42 cents.
Yeah.
Do we, is Jewel looking at this and saying, yeah,
You
did
see
they
it?
approve it?
See his name? Scott. what's that?
Oh, okay, that's Scott's signature, okay.
626.
Yes, I asked him that exact question. I said, is this an appropriate amount? And he said, yes.
Okay. And who's the engineer that's actually on site though? Because wouldn't that be the engineer on site's responsibility to determine the work, or maybe you pass that off
He
to
passes
Scott?
that off, he doesn't.
Okay,
But I asked him,
okay,
Is Scott?
Yeah.
I don't know if Scott's been out there, but Carter says he reports to him every day.
okay, good.
So the draw for this month then was $185,129.42.
They didn't have a draw last month, but they have it. This is number 2.
Is there a total quantity of draws that we know for sure, or is it just,
As the
They
work,
said to put it on the agenda every month,
okay,
just cause last month we didn't have one,
right?
but we did the first month. Just as a standard procedure so that it wasn't not on the agenda,
Sure.
because they would be asking for them.
I've noticed they're doing a lot of social media, total excavating, and they've got a lot of different projects all over, and I wanted to put a comment on there, what about 205th? But it looks like they're into it now.
Seen it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said they're focusing hot and heavy on that. Like I said, they avoided this area and they won't go back to this area till we have 100% resolution. Which means,
They're going on the other end of the road.
they're, moving to the east on the other side of 60th, so. I think they were gonna start pulverizing, I thought he said.
Well, they're moving, I drove by there today or this afternoon, and they were working strong on pulling off just east of 60th and then filling in back there. And I appreciate the way they're doing it, because they're not grinding the whole thing. They're kind of grinding as they can get to it. So they're making it a little bit easier on the residents, not having to drive on
I
that
don't
road all the
see
time.
anything in here on that culvert. There was a culvert that MSA missed. That's right in the same area that where you first come off of County Road I over there, that's probably 25 feet down that they had to go in, so.
They put it in.
They had to put a new one in because it's a lot wider there. And, was there one there to begin with, Wally? There was. So I don't,
They got it in.
Hmm?
I think they got it
it
in.
is in, but I don't see an amount where that should be a contract change because it was not in the original quote, so
Oh, good.
MSA missed that one.
Weird.
So this driveway doesn't have anything to do with the road project itself. Why don't we just hire Total to do a time and material and link it to our
No,
ordinance?
it does have something to do with it.
It's not part of the original grant.
What would be the difference?
Why are we paying for engineering? That's something they can do. Just tell them to do it,
Well, they're gonna want,
time and material.
They're gonna want some, I mean,
they're gonna want some sight lines or some lines.
it is a $1.2 million house going on parcel 40 acres that he just paid 15,000 an acre for. So it will be a tax revenue generator. So we'll call for a motion on approval of the draw for Total instead of,
I make a motion, we approve that draw, number 2, for 185, 129.42.
Do I hear a second on that motion?
Second.
Motion by Witzman, second by Crowdy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next, we'll request consider resolution 2026-6. It's an affidavit and covenant on outbuilding, shed building permits. So this was something that was requested by our building inspector. And it's just an affidavit that says you will not live in the house. Has everybody got a chance? We looked at it last month. In a shed, excuse me. In a house too.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions or get a chance to contact Melissa if they have questions?
I just asked Melissa what other municipalities you're doing this, and she said town of Starkville did it.
And they do it for,
We're having a lot of issues on this side of the county. Not so much in other parts, but she made a new one late today. Did you see that?
yeah, I talked to her for about a half hour today on that,
She
so.
softened the verbiage a little bit. The last paragraph is what I believe she changed.
It's more for people who are building a pole barn and putting in, I think if they can put a toilet in, but if they put a shower in or kitchen facilities, they then have to sign this. They have to, and basically it costs, they have to get it, fill in the information, take it down to the county, and I think it costs them $30 to file it.
Say that again, so if we put a toilet in?
No,
No, if somebody has a man shed and puts a toilet in there, but if they're putting a shower and kitchen facilities out there.
Well, how do you know?
Well,
How
if they,
are you gonna know once that
building inspector, no.
a week, 2 weeks, a month later, when the building inspector leaves and they put a shower in?
well,
The building shed meets residential specs and everything, you know, trusses and this year on the walls.
Can be
If
different.
you're gonna sleep in a building or spend any time living in a building, it has to meet the uniform dwelling code.
I can see where Shane's gonna have a hard time, just because you do a lot of heat out in the garage. You're dirty. Like, you have the kitchen.
And it's not just me, but I'm confused here because you can put one thing, but it should be put in nothing.
I think I might have.
What about it? I mean,
well, and that was only because I mentioned,
Okay, so the last paragraph that I have says structures with cooking and or bathing facilities or rough-ins for cooking and or bathing facilities submitted on the effective date. Is that what you guys have? So
I can see if it's got all that, plus a bedroom and a closet.
it also helps when people like sell stuff, because we just had a situation where that happened. Where they had their shed altered. Unbeknownst of getting a permit and added a guest house and advertised it as a guest house, or what was it advertised as?
well, I think it was out on 210th, there was a house that was sold. And it was a large, accessory building
Said.
with basically an office area added in, but it was, and that piece of it was actually improved with all the facilities in there, and it was advertised as a guest house. So that somebody was left with the impression that they could,
So basically what we're trying to do here is prevent in the future. Somebody pulls a shed permit. And then they advertise it as. A dwelling or an office or, right? Is that
Well,
what I'm?
or if they sell it.
That's what I'm saying, and then in the future they sell it, then they can go back and look, because. I mean, it's fine, I'm not saying I'm 100% against
is
it,
what-
but isn't that the way it is anyway?
No, this is what the
No.
affidavit says. Okay, the person that's getting the permit and owns the property is filling out this affidavit and attaching it to the property. It says, as a condition of the building permit to construct the accessory structure, I certify and agree that such accessory structure will be used for personal storage only. Such accessory structure will not be used for sleeping or as a habitable building for living purposes at any time, whether on a permanent, occasional, or weekend basis by me or grantees assigned to me with regard to this property. I understand as a condition of granting the building permit for a structure that if such accessory structure is used by me, heirs, assignees, as a habitable building for living purposes on a permanent, occasional, weekend basis, the building permit issued by the town of Somerset shall be deemed null and void, and such conduct shall be considered violation of chapter 10. And this affidavit runs with the land and is given by the undersigned owner and shall be recorded in the register of deeds as a covenant running with the land. So if anybody purchases it, they can see this on a title search that this isn't a guest building.
But
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
St. Clair County
That's where
ordinances, we have ordinances of our own that says one dwelling unit per lot.
Yep,
That's
we
what,
do.
but that's what I'm getting at, what Lenny's saying.
That don't stand.
This is, to me, it's just more government, and it's fine that they wanna do this, but we already have an ordinance for this, don't we?
We don't.
Well, the county does, so I mean,
We don't have an ordinance.
no, the county doesn't enforce building codes.
It's not a building code.
it's an
It is a
ordinance.
building code, the UDC, you can talk about, there's two different issues. There's a zoning issue of having two residents. But there's also a building code about having somebody living in a building that isn't,
Sleep. in a
approved.
building That's built to the uniform dwelling code, which is state.
we,
And that started,
What if it's code though? What if it meant all the,
then you'd have two.
you'd have, no, because you can build a garage. Just like you do a house, 2x6 construction, put the snow loads on it.
I see what they're trying to do, but I don't like the way they're going about it. Because we already have an ordinance. Like Lenny said, that you can only have one dwelling per parcel,
That's
or
not
per 3 acre parcel.
fun.
that's a
But the
county's.
thing is, so are you saying that this is if somebody just builds a pole building or a shed before they build a house? Or is this on all sheds?
Really protecting the buyer of the property next time it sells, so that when you go and buy Doug's house and Doug's advertising his house in a shed that has a living quarters or grandparents suite, maybe the grandparents suite's not allowed.
What
And
if
now
it's,
you're paying $500,000 for this.
No, and I understand that.
Oh, no, that's not.
This will show up in a title search.
Right, it'll pull up in the title search
And
and
then
say, no, it's.
whether they didn't know or it wasn't disclosed, also it protects, I feel. The building inspector and maybe, I don't know if the town is liable with the building inspector if. They give them a building permit and they're inspecting it and has kitchen and, I mean, they. Don't want people sleeping in things that aren't safe.
100%.
We know we have an issue.
Well,
We
yeah,
have
Yeah.
a list
But you
of.
can build it safe.
Right.
You can build it to all the things.
Then you have to get a building permit for a house. And you have to meet the uniform dwelling code for the 8 required inspections or whatever it is.
I got 20 acres of land and I put separation between my outbuilding and my house and build it to housing standards, sell it later.
Do you have the list of things?
I think they're,
It would be on its own lot, it would be built to residential standards, and that would, everything would be just fine. The difference between a pole barn. There's just so little that you have to do. Step up and trusses and you're done.
Smoke alarms, firewall.
Is Star Prairie the only one that's doing it around?
I know Star Prairie did it. I don't know if you know anything about that, Jason.
I do not.
Me and your dad's on the board.
you know,
I'm
We
pretty
are-
sure St. Joe probably has. They're not under county zoning, so they probably have some zoning. Something, but I don't know for sure. She said, I asked her after the meeting, she said, who else is doing this?
It's different. They have a zoning administrator that's probably enforcing their zoning,
She said,
so.
well,
And we've got those
your
up on
neighbors.
210th the other way. That's,
Star Prairie.
I'm
I'm,
still fighting with the pound
who's that?
walkers.
I'm not saying I'm against it, I just want to
There's-
be clear here because it's,
We had it on the agenda last month and then she softened the resolution, like I said, she changed some of the language.
your question about the Airbnb that's north of town. There's really two issues there. There's a zoning issue with the county because they have two dwellings on one parcel. And then there really is a building code issue because you've got a building that was never inspected as a residence. What's that?
It's a shed.
Yeah, well, it was never inspected, so in order to allow somebody to sleep overnight, if they got approval from this county to have two residences there, if they split the lot or did whatever, it still has to go through a thorough inspection to make sure it meets all the UDC codes before somebody can sleep in that. And if something were to happen, and we're aware of it and didn't take action, we potentially could be liable.
can you put a camper inside of it and sleep in the camper inside the shed?
I don't think so. I don't think you can sleep in it.
And that pole shed was built with the wrong snow loads, that's why I can't transfer over. So he does have 6 acres and he was gonna split it.
But there's nothing stopping him from selling it right now as our Airbnb.
Mhm.
I mean, an owner could come in and say, well, hey, I bought it. It was an Airbnb, it's grandfathered in. And this would protect against that. Because then at least then they would be notified that it doesn't meet uniform building codes.
Well, it would be when they get the permit, $30 to record this. Then if there was a title search, this would show up. This document is attached. The shed is for personal storage.
And as Shane mentioned before, is that only when they apply for that to say they're gonna put in a shower, bathroom or whatever?
Yeah,
During the
this would
building?
not be for sheds that don't have like facilities,
But see, that's the part I don't like,
like the cold. You wanna do it for all shed?
because
You can do it for all.
so, but that's what I've been getting at, so the person that builds a big shed. And just doesn't even finish it, just leaves it dirt floor, 2 years later decides to put in water, sewer, shower,
Then they
how you gonna know?
Cause, well, if they got a permit, then they'd probably make.
Right, but what if they don't get a permit?
Well,
So to me, it should be on all sheds.
we could do it on all
Because-
sheds.
You,
They
She
did,
sheds too?
no, I mean, in it, not mobile,
so last
storage
month, we
containers.
talked about this a little bit, and I thought you guys said that you didn't wanna consider the ones with electricity. Cause she has a different resolution, she has two of them on, they were on last month's packet thing, if you wanna bring them up. One was there was two examples, one's for sheds with plumbing and heat. And the other one's for just cold sheds, without like the rustic kind, you know.
This is a loophole, I'm telling you right
That
now.
have, like, if you wanna do it on all sheds, we have that resolution from last month, that is all sheds, everything.
What was Star Prairie's? All sheds?
Well, I guess I could add.
Because what if I buy your property and the shed's unfinished and I throw in a bathroom and a shower in it
That's oftentimes some.
and then sell it and then nobody knew, but then they're selling it as, well, it's an office now. But if you got this affidavit,
You can be in my shed then.
well. I'm just saying. A new shed or something, because
Well, I mean,
to
when
me, it
it's
should be,
existing and they go and build it out,
yeah.
there'd be nothing to protect.
That's what I don't like, is because why is it just the ones where the guy's putting water in it? That could happen 10 years down the road. They put water in it and bore it in, whatever. And then all of a sudden they're selling it as a mother-in-law suite. I mean, so why are we just punishing the guy that pulled the permit, but it should be all sheds?
You can
to
do
me.
it on all sheds. We have that.
Well, we're
have-
not, or don't do any of them, because it's either do them all or do none, because
Garden Star Parade passed this in 2006, January. Theirs is all sheds.
right.
So
That makes more
theirs
sense.
is the ones that are, it says all accessory structure building permits. So that is, she has given us 2 examples.
Yeah,
She
no,
gave
I
us a
understand it.
solution with all sheds, and then she gave us one with just with the plumbing and the heat and the electricity. So it's up to the board to decide which resolution you want, if you want to do one. And they did pass it. It's on their website. It's exactly the same verbiage. And
Comments?
Whatever happened with Aquamates,
it's,
they did it.
I
I'm
don't,
just saying, it goes nowhere when it does happen. Did they kick Dean out? Or whoever was renting the outbuilding?
I'm not bringing up the past, but I just think
I don't-
personally, I think if we do it, it should be all sheds, because what's gonna stop somebody in the future from remodeling it and not pulling a permit, and then they sell it, and then how would you not? I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that makes
Not-
sense from the standpoint that if I've got that out there, that affidavit that says I'm not gonna do this to my shed, and then I
then you change
follow the
it,
process and decide I wanna,
you change it.
I wanna upgrade
it-
it so it can be a living space or an
Then you gotta get
Airbnb, then I go out and get the permit and I get it approved with the UDC codes, then I can actually get that affidavit removed. And, it's all contingent upon the property being able to be used as a dwelling unit.
And I don't know if we wanna think about it some more or not, but I don't agree with mobile sheds. I mean, now I don't know what we consider mobile. I mean, make some pretty big mobile
Well,
sheds
you
now,
could
but
say like little garden sheds. are
Right.
Included.
she shattered it.
Little- what do
You know what I'm
call it?
saying, though, any
Little
permanent
garden
structure,
shed
because I
excluded.
just think it's a loophole, and in the future, it's.
And it isn't gonna prevent people from doing it.
No.
It just prevents them to being able to sell it, so
Right.
it protects the buyers.
That and
But at least they know when they buy the shed, no matter
Okay.
how long it's been built, they know that it was built for
Yeah.
just a shed.
Shed.
just personal storage,
Right.
not a living,
Right,
habitable
I-
structure.
that's my.
You have a copy of the old one still, Jerry? Or do we wanna?
I have a copy of the old one from last month. I'll print.
So are all the old ones grandfathered in?
It'll just be from this day going forward.
Plenty.
It's not going backward.
It doesn't
So
matter if I mean, I'll make a motion to approve it for all sheds, because it doesn't matter.
okay,
Well, but at least it's on the deed, and at least we can say we tried. If somebody comes back and tries to sue us, I mean,
We'll move into
it's
it.
good faith. I don't know. I feel on all sheds, not mobile or garden sheds, but I don't know. Do you want to talk about it some more?
all sheds.
I hate more
excluding-
government on people, but
It's too bad, but we do have issues, right? So we should say excluding those little garden sheds. Those little.
Under a certain square footage, do we wanna bring it back next month with language that we can all
Put
agree on?
under
Yeah.
120 square feet.
yeah, I think we should.
Okay,
So now we're gonna go through.
we should have the verbiage here, so everybody's on board.
Well, I think square footage and mobile, and I mean, I know it's not a big deal, but it's,
Didn't do that last month, so Jen.
I do, but I'd have to,
No, last month's packet, if you go to your work file.
I got last month's PowerPoint.
No, do you have your work file? Your
Yeah.
M file,
Yeah, I do.
then it's in the.
See here. And I probably can't.
The M file right there, your highlighter is on it, yeah, and then you go to, and then it's June. And then go down to the resolution on the bottom. They're alphabetical,
This is the affidavit. Okay, we did.
they're resolution, we want to see. It's down, yeah, there. Okay, so the first one is with the electrical, from the second, slide down to the second
Yeah.
resolution.
As far as the realtor thing goes.
That one there is the one that just go down to the very last paragraph,
Condition report on there.
right there. That's what it says.
The owner that sold, it's the one that's gonna get sued.
Right.
It just says all structure, building permit application, accessory structures.
That's under
It's the last one. Okay.
administrative
Already
authority.
been kind of quiet. How do you feel about it?
You don't need.
Very last.
For a portable shed anyways, so it wouldn't apply. to
Yeah,
that.
there's a certain square. footage, certain value, but
For $2,000 and. I think this one's.
the 120 square feet, those little ones,
10 by
10 by
10.
10, you don't need, you don't, yeah, we're not.
If it's over $2,000, you do. So you buy half this year and the other half next.
Getting a little technical. What do you think, Brad? I haven't heard much.
No, I'm with you on the whole thing. That's the only thing, like you said, protects the seller. The buyer that's coming in, that's not doing
In
the
the
future,
future.
but that's. Here or there, it's not our job to protect people's real estate needs, so. But I think it's gonna have to be all sheds, not, it's gonna be easier for us to track.
It would
Yeah.
be
Keep
easier
track of going.
and more consistent.
Do I hear a motion on that then, Demo?
Lenny made a motion.
I don't know. I'd like to see, I don't know. I mean, I'm in favor of, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I'm not in favor of more government in people's business, but I'd like to see it on paper first, personally, with the square footage, the money, the mobiles, you know what I'm saying? Because we live in a world where there's loophole and everything.
The only thing, we typically don't put dollar amounts and stuff like that, because what happens if that changes on the other one, then you know, on our fee structure.
No, but I think what Lenny was, wow, what that's small sheds, so I don't know. I really don't know. I'm poor, but
Or how about if we just add for any accessory structure greater than 120 square feet?
Excluding garden sheds. Under, or 120 square.
that's fine.
Match it here.
Yeah, that's what the
Or-
permit says.
You know, if they're mobile, I don't know what mobile, it'd be a trailer and they'd have to, there's limits on that by the county.
Easily type that in as a Word document, so we could put excluding garden sheds under 120 square.
Okay.
If you want to do it that way.
I would do it that way, then it matches what we already have in place.
Yeah.
And still allows you to put that mother-in-law suite on the backside of your own garage.
That's
It's
where you
attached
want
to the
her-
house, it doesn't matter.
That's where I want her to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best comment all night.
Does this include condo garages?
I always stir the pot. We aren't gonna fix all the issues.
Can't.
Gotta fix the ones that they're in right now, and it's not an easy way to do it. Can't always depend upon the county to enforce theirs. So we do what we can do to try to prevent it going forward.
Second that motion then, let's go.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back to these condo garages. So will it be tied to them or not? I never heard a yes or no. I mean,
What's that?
Absolutely not.
I didn't hear you.
They're permitted that way, are they not?
Yeah.
I mean, when they come in for their building permits,
They're not
have common
supposed-
garages, and that's a whole different.
It's in the verbiage.
No, they're done. It's everything going forward as of today. It's not
That's
going
chapter
back.
15, the changes.
you don't have to go put an affidavit on your shed, it's going forward.
Oh,
That's-
I
I mean, it's not anything from the past,
no, yeah,
yeah, it's from this day forward
all
or
right,
whatever.
we
day.
can beat this, but,
If Prairie can do it, we can do it.
Yep. So we got a motion, first and second.
No, we got one motion. By Jermaine,
Rescind it. Somebody else start it now.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2026 with the verbiage that'll be for all buildings,
all accessories.
except for buildings under 120 square feet.
all accessory buildings, correct?
Accessory
Buildings, yeah.
building.
Anybody gonna second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed?
Yep.
Now you're,
That's
So
fine.
this took too long.
Okay. Motion passed. Jermaine. Nay. Next, listing of AGL page for St. Clair County Community Development zoning violations, review and consider.
Okay, let me just get back. Right now, we have a lot of things we do in HayGov, and I feel like it's working really well. We should probably try and expand that. There is a code violation complaint form that the county has. Used pretty much the same verbiage, tried to create the county's form and the information that they were provided in the county's form. This allows anybody, whether it's be a resident or a town board member, to go in and fill that out on HayGov. There's an approval process where if somebody submits something that doesn't seem valid, you can reject the request. Otherwise, it's basically approving it, doing a PDF of it and sending it to the county. And then we will have a record of all of the code violations that are out there. So we can print those out. We want to and send them to the county and ask for updates on them. So it's kind of creating that spreadsheet or database of the code violations that are out there.
And it automatically goes to the county now, or does
It
it come to
doesn't-
us first and then we have to?
did you create it or did them?
No, I created it.
Did it work?
Yep.
Did?
In fact, I submitted, there was one that Jerry had today. I just copied and pasted it in there. And then there's a point where you can print out a PDF of it. So I printed out the PDF and just copied and pasted and texted it to the county and asked them. Well, yeah, emailed it to them. There's an attachment. So anybody can do it. When you get down, if you're concerned about, who sent it in, you can just put town board as an example. I put the town clerk on there, your phone number. So it's really kind of nondescript. If you want to put your name in there, you certainly can.
Why? But, we don't have to throw it on Jerry. Why can't it just say that a complaint came in and?
So is
Well, the form,
this
one of the
for
things they
people?
want to know who the contact, this is information that the county requests. They ask, who's the person that, and I'll go back to this page. Who's the property owner?
Is this for people to use or for the board to use?
It's out on HayGov, so an individual can do it, yeah,
Or you guys could use?
and we can use it. So you got the property owner, the phone number if you know it, site address, property location, nature of complaint. You can do attachments to it. And it'll actually give you a little screen print of it. And then they're going to ask, who is the contact, who submitted this? And it gives a little bit of a disclaimer, be advised that this information is made public. So it's a public record. So they want to know who it is. And then the county has their administrative use only. I added the date submitted, and we can actually change the status from submitted to the county in process or completed. And then they had this information they had on the bottom of their form. So when we send it, they can print it out and treat it just like one of their forms. Now, I sent it to the county and I'll probably follow up with them the next day to make sure that they're comfortable with what we submit to them.
That's with zoning.
Yeah, with community development.
So your purpose in doing this is for people to be able to make complaints through the town website?
Well,
Yeah.
we're sending them to HeyGov to do
Right.
all kinds of different things, but we also wanted that database to say what violations do we have out there that we've submitted or that we know they're town residents?
Because at the one county board meeting, they did, at the Wisconsin Towns Association meeting, they did review the number of complaints, where they were coming from in the county, and how many were resolved, and where it still were some outstanding ones were.
Yeah,
So that would go on that list then?
that would, I could, from this, we can get a printout of all the CV. I think I use CV, as the identifier for each one, like CV6, CV8. I can get an Excel spreadsheet that shows CV8, what was the issue, who presented it, and then ask them for an update. And then as we get updates, we can go in and say it was resolved or whatever it is, close it out. So,
So do you really think the county's gonna follow through on this? Because Lenny brought up one prior, I won't bring the name up again, but they've got plenty of prior issues that they do nothing about.
Well, the county has a code violation form of their own on their website.
yeah, and this is,
You just copied that?
I've used that
As the
information
template.
as the template for it. Well, my charge from last meeting was to develop a way of tracking those and logging them, and I just felt that HeyGov was the way to do it, so you go out, if you want to try it, go out and try one, and just do it as a test.
So they come into the town's email and you are the admin or me or who?
I think you as an admin would see it.
That
Anybody that's identified as admin, I think. would
Somebody
see it.
has to forward that down to the county? then?
You have to look at it, accept it, approve it, and then print it out and attach it to an email and send it to the county.
So who's doing all that, Tim? Because should there be somebody overseeing this? Because you can get frivolous complaints. And I think it should be validated before it goes down to the county that it's an actual,
And it is, because it comes in,
who's approving it?
whoever, one of the administrators on the board, or if, and I'm not sure, you probably don't go into HeyGov as an administrator, but Jerry can, same thing with,
But so like.
utility easements, that comes in through HeyGov
would
and it's
the
approved
county
through
have to
driveway.
Investigate it anyways, if somebody had a concern?
Well, if you get a complaint from a resident, they're saying, that I'm gonna send this county violation form out because the neighbor's dog is,
The dog. Yeah,
you'd reject it and you could reply to them and say, I'm rejecting it because this isn't a county zoning violation. So we have control over it. I think it gets approved, but if somebody from the board sees a violation, you can go out on HeyGov, enter this, and it goes down to the county.
And ultimately, they can still go to the county and,
Correct.
And they could still do the county's form or phone call or whatever they want to do.
If the person that's making the complaint wants to stay anonymous, how does this, I mean, if I do an open records request on the person that sent one today,
Well, we don't know who it was because they didn't identify themselves. They called it in. Jerry wrote it up in an email and sent it down to the county. But I used that information in this form. I actually submitted that. It took me probably 3 minutes. I copied and pasted it in there, went and approved it, printed it, attached it to an email, cdd.wi, or, the CDD's email address, and sent it, and it took me maybe 3-4 minutes.
Does anything go back to the person that submitted the form
Do they
to
get
say
an
they were
update?
taking action or the state of it at all?
When it's approved, or when it comes to us, because it's approved by somebody at administrative level who has access to HeyGov, we can just say, we forward this to the county. if we want to. So if it's an outside person who fills this out, we can say, this seems like a valid request, I'll forward it to the county. You know,
If it's a complaint of unlicensed vehicles, junk all over the yard, who's gonna drive out there and check it before it's sent in? Anyone?
well, most likely whoever's complaining probably lives next door, maybe take some pictures. If it's somebody on the board, we can take pictures and submit it with it. You know, so I guess I wouldn't get so tied up with the form itself because it's the same as the county's form. It's just a way of processing it differently.
So if they come in anonymous and we forward them,
They will stay anonymous.
they will stay anonymous.
Is there anyone else in the county doing this? Besides,
Probably not like this.
They're
But
just
they're
they're going
probably-
out on a paper form, filling it out.
The HayGov does work very well.
No, I get it. I just-
Driveway permits.
I just hope the county does their end of the deal because that's been the issue. I mean,
We document it, we're doing the best we
I
can
get it.
to kind of push it forward.
Tim is right, you can go back into HayGov and print out reports. And you can see all the driveway permits, utility permits, so it can keep track.
I don't have a problem with it. I just want to make sure we have somebody that's overseeing it because
Yeah.
you can get carried away with, you know.
And I don't know what the time requirements are gonna be to do that each week or each month, and if that's something that you wanna handle for a while.
Well, right
Let's
now,
work out.
we've got one violation out there that's logged in here.
Okay.
You know, if we get one a month, that would be probably pushing it. There's probably, I know people have talked about, well, there's this issue up there. And has anybody, when you see those issues, do you go in and do anything about them? Or as we just talk about, well, that's a county issue. This gives you the ability to go in and put it in and we can start tracking it.
So is it something you want the board to approve each month or not? Just one person? I mean, I'm just bringing this up for discussion. That each month all the board members look at the complaints and then or not, or just,
You know, I don't think we don't do it at this point. If we start getting a lot of them, we want to see what's out there, or if you're thinking about filing a complaint about something, you could actually go into the database and see if somebody's already submitted it. But maybe having two or three, the same complaint helps you. I was just going back, let me see, discussion on developing and assigning a responsibility and submitting a list of potential violations to the county.
or we can even do a trial period. I don't. We could.
Consensus was to proceed with consideration in July. So I'm just trying to, Witzman would submit the spreadsheet to St. Croix County Community Development with the county violations from each issue, requesting an update quarterly. So we talked about doing it quarterly.
Yeah.
Excel spreadsheet. stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So,
Good night, gentlemen. Good night.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Whatever you guys want. That's fine.
So
You know, the thing
if we're
is,
gonna start using-
they don't do anything right now.
I know, at least we can
the
track
data, push them to say, hey,
Yeah. I
do
agree.
something about the zoning violations. Cause right now, we don't track them, so we don't know.
It's a paper trail,
I get it.
a paper trail.
You know,
So do we need to get approval from the board to post this, or has it already been posted?
I posted it as a test to do it, and I can actually pull it back if we want to. If anybody has any objections to that, and if for some reason the county says, no, we want it 100% on our form, then I'll have to pull it back, but I thought this was a good way of tracking it. And because we do so much in HayGov, the more we can move to HayGov, we can tell somebody if they have a concern about something, go to HayGov. We've got a county zoning violation form that you can fill out and see it.
They might find it on.
Yeah,
Want a motion, Mr.
I
Chairman?
want a motion.
I will make a motion and we approve listing the HayGov page for St. Croix County Community Development on zoning violations.
Do I hear a second to that motion?
I'll second, it works until it go.
okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
If the county says no,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I don't think that they.
no, good discussion.
then turn it in tomorrow.
New business, updating driveway permit application form and process.
Well, there was some discussion about the driveway permit. And that currently we've got mixed information on the website. If you go to HeyGov and fill out a driveway permit, we've got the old form on there. We've got a PDF of the actual application from HeyGov. And I added some stuff in here. We can modify it or just not even deal with it, but I thought it would be good. A lot of this stuff is what's on there right now. But what I did find is that a lot of our forms don't even match what our ordinances say. For instance, there is something that talks about this,
Well,
the site distance.
Distance, 40.
Our ordinance says site distance for 45 to 55 has to be 450 feet as measured by 3.5 foot, 3.5 foot in height. So it's real specific about how you're supposed to measure that. The other one was, we've got somewhere it says 2 feet, well, actually a 2% sloping down within 50 feet of the center line of the road, meaning that as you go from 50 feet out, there should be a slope down of 2% to keep things from running onto the roads. It also talks about the 90% angle. And I went through, and you can look through the driveway ordinance, but there's some real specific things that we are probably haven't followed. There's some that say 12 feet, some that say 14 feet, but our ordinance says 12 feet. So I was trying to be consistent. The other thing that it would be helpful is maybe on our form, we just make them aware, the applicant knows that it meets the sight lines, that meets the specifications, which is the diameter and end walls, the driveway separation 200 feet, driveway construction, which is 12-foot width for residential and 24 for joint residential, maximum grade of 12%. And then in the bottom, if the applicant is unable to meet the requirements of the driveway standards, a variance form must be completed and submitted by the applicant so that they know right up front, if I don't meet the zoning or the requirements for the town driveway, I've got to fill out a variance form, and we can put a link right in this. And then there's, basically, what's the process for doing this? Somebody submits this form. Jerry gets it. It probably goes out to Wally or to Joe to go out and look at that. So we actually go out there initially, probably to verify whether it needs a culvert or not. So down in the bottom here, I put, let me see. Upon submittal of this application, it shall be determined by a town inspection if a culvert is required, and if required, shall meet the, and it goes in and explains what they have to meet. And then there's the drawing, which is something that is in the current form. And then when the driveway is completed, and I think we found that
The form that Jerry gave us.
no, well, maybe it might be.
Well, the one that, no.
I think this is the one that Jerry gave, that I sent to Jerry
Oh, the checklist where.
for inspection.
Where they're checking,
all these items to make sure that there's, and if we have a situation where there's a, variance, then they have to come back before the board. And it's, black and white. We've sometimes have these driveways that are kind of gray. And I know we had a driveway where there was 3 or 4 guys that went out and looked at it after there were some issues.
So is it approved after it's finally built,
this is, well,
or is this a prior for the?
yeah, that's a good question. Is this final inspection come after the driveway is installed?
I think it should be after it's installed, so that they verify everything was done according to.
I think it still needs more work. I mean,
Okay.
Kim, you got a good start. I got to start. Jason's got to start.
But
Just have a work
But
session.
even in the process, they need to apply to find the
That's the same
location,
way.
have it approved. And then before it's actually signed upon, I mean, they can't start construction until it's approved on the location. Then they have to build it to those standards, and then it should be signed off, because as it is right now, we sign the driveway permit and they go out and start building it. We never have a final inspection that goes out and says, well, did they meet that requirement?
I'd like to see like,
Well, and that's what the final inspection is, and then basically the approved means that the driveway was done according to the specs.
I'd like to see it state that when they apply for a driveway permit, they put some kind of a marker out there. Do they do that for you?
A lot of guys do.
Most of them.
Okay.
One thing I think we gotta clear up though here is right here.
What's that?
This doesn't make sense. All driveways must have a minimum top width of 12 feet. Okay, well, what's the maximum?
Well, that's to be.
There is in the ordinance.
But it should state it on here.
Well,
Because
Well-
you could have somebody come in, oh, I got a 40-foot wide driveway, because right here it says minimum.
There are some.
that's where it comes down to. I'm working on it, Jason's working.
No, I'm just saying, I was pointing it out because I read it as, oh, I can go wider just so it's minimum 12 feet.
I think we just need to sit down and cut through it one night.
Well, there's-
Well, that's another
Well,
question.
right, I mean, that's what I'm saying, they gotta be wider,
Up to 60
right?
And
I don't
it's-
have a problem with that, but we just gotta have it so everybody knows.
or more.
Yeah,
That's all fine, but like in our ordinance too, I mean, we gotta go through the ordinance because we have it listed, driveways can be 5 feet off the property line. County has it that driveways have to be 10. So
Right.
as an A count, we have to cross-reference with the county on some of the stuff too.
But I think we can keep working on it, but I just think there's some verbiage that can be
Yeah.
cleaned
There
up.
should be timelines on it too, from when a guy calls in for a final inspection, how
Hmm.
long are we gonna respond? How did they get contacted back to say yes or no that it was approved? Did the guys approve it, or should Tim's approval be down at the bottom and Doug signing off on it, he's chair? They could sign off that, yes, it's good.
You'd probably sign up here.
Application.
You could probably sign up here and I could sign.
There's lots of, we just have to sit down and we have to do it.
Yeah. Driveways take a lot of time and there's a lot of.
No, we have a lot of issues.
And they're always.
Yeah.
And that's how.
I mean, I'm not saying this is the final document, but
No, it's a good
it's-
start. I'm not.
I just think that we need to have final approval. We need to spell out
Yeah.
some of the basic things from the ordinance so that
But
they
he
know.
does reference the ordinance on here on blue on the front page.
Is it better to reference the ordinance so that you don't have information in multiple locations? Because then if you change it in one, and that's why we have different distances right now.
If you reference the ordinance, then you don't have to put every little thing in there. You could just say reference the ordinance. They can go to that link and
Just pick a night.
reference the ordinance.
Get it done one
Do a working session on that.
night.
So the sight lines,
Wednesday.
it don't make sense that so it's 400 feet for what speed?
Well, it's everything other than
Under
under
45.
45. So if it's 35, we don't have any 40s, but
Well, we got stuff around the town, so it's more for 40 to 45 to 55,
correct.
Well, they're going faster, so you need more sight to.
right? But it doesn't say
I kind of took some of the verbiage
400
from the
feet, if
ordinance.
it's 35 miles an hour is ridiculous.
That's what it's been.
All no, that's,
You know what I'm saying? It was down there by.
That's a 25 mile an hour.
Right.
Sight distance could be less.
Exactly, and we got some 25 mile.
but then you better
development.
change in the ordinance.
No, but that's what I'm saying, we gotta look at, because 400 feet. Sightline in a 25 mile an hour development,
We have driveways on cul-de-sacs.
Well, that's what I mean.
200 feet apart with 400 feet, none of them.
right, so I mean, a lot of this needs to be cleaned up.
Unless it's a temporary cul-de-sac.
Well, let's plan that we'll do a working session then.
When we want.
Not soon. We're busy.
Busy? Everybody's busy.
I said we're busy.
Would you want to do it like 6 o'clock before the town board meeting in August? Or do you want to have? Everybody should look at this and maybe highlight the things in the ordinance that should be covered. Or highlight the things that are not. That you think should be changed in the ordinance.
One on my notes.
Sure.
That's,
Well, I just realized after a certain,
thought it was all fixed. I was told it was all fixed tonight.
what was
The
all fixed.
driveway application was sitting on their shop thing, and I'm like, well, what the hell's this one? And Wally said, we have two, one on Hagov, and we have a different one. And with all the problems with what we've been having with driveways for the last year,
And we did just recently update our driveway ordinance, not that long ago.
Right, but we gotta clean this up because 200 foot separation on the same side of the road if it's in a cul-de-sac. I
what
mean,
about it
I,
to an intersecting road?
well, or that too, I'm just saying,
We just approved Al Woodstock's development, and there's a future road going straight east. And there's a driveway 50 feet off of it, same side of the road. It's 200.
but it's 25, like I said.
The current.
Let's just look at this and,
I mean, we've been.
I mean, a lot of it's gonna take a while though, I mean.
Tim, is it possible to put that on the shared so that it could be a live doc so people can go in and put comments?
You just put
Yeah.
it on the
You guys know
word.
to do that?
on the word. You go to the town board,
Lenny and I'll
the
go,
town board W.
Lenny and I'll get together.
It's right now, it's in the,
Wally.
Just let it rock or something.
do you want to move a copy to the,
Can't edit it if it's in the meeting.
Yeah, Lenny,
no, but you could move a copy of it to the shared drive.
Yeah, let's try to do it where people can work on it at their leisure and then maybe review
I
it
can-
I
again
can't,
in the August meeting.
yeah. but you-
Okay.
So that at least be a little bit more refined.
When are we in session?
Tim, when you got time.
On our own.
No, we're gonna work on it put it on the shared doc so people can look at it. Everybody's gonna look at it.
Yeah, Lenny and I and Wally are getting together to look at it.
Bring at least a copy or somebody give them a copy to look at
Do
it
you
then.
think that the transportation?
Not this
committee
double
should-
sided shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know.
Well, do you think it's something the transportation committee should work on?
Yeah, actually, that's a
Cause I
good,
mean, isn't it a transportation?
that's a
issue?
good
It
spot
is.
to start out there.
So we can bring it on to
Right.
our August agenda.
And then once the transportation committee refines it, bring it to the board for a draft.
Yep.
They should me to get on a computer.
But
I would think so.
I don't.
Okay.
think-
Friday and I can figure it out.
Why don't you send me or make a copy of your notes and I'll look through it.
Just come to the transportation
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, it's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, moving forward, we're gonna beat that one.
Remember to put that on.
Transportation and Facilities Committee, equipment update, Sterling, sounds like it didn't meet the.
Did not meet the reserve that we had set, came in well below, only hit 18,000. Contacted Shane and Tim, just to make sure everybody's on the same consensus of transportation, we decided to hold off at this point, so no further action, we just declined the option. So we didn't have a meeting here in July, but my presumption is we'll hold on to it till at least fall. If we decide if we're enlisted again or hold on to it.
Were any of the repair items immediate need, or is it usable as it sits right now?
Well, I mean, a lot of the usable need items, I think, surface through the
DOT?
DOT inspection that we authorized to have done. So I mean, we've shed some light on the issues that were there, which also follows suit with the reason we replaced the truck originally. But at the same time, it saved our butt last year a couple times, so. I guess it probably just needs to be a conversation for transportation, so. I think it could be a subject we beat to death here again tonight if we get into it, the weeds of it, but. I think for now, at least, we'll let it sit till the August transportation meeting and decide what we want to.
I know that you had brought up before the meeting too, that, how much equipment do we wanna carry? Where are our money's best spent? Should we be
Yeah.
putting monies toward our new trucks? The trucks need maintenance now versus an older truck. It isn't gonna appreciate in value, but it has, if it's a spare for the time being and.
Right.
There comes a time where maybe the 25,000 wasn't the realistic number. So,
Well, are we gonna be doing some work on the single axle?
Single axles in currently.
So I'm just saying in case we need it right now for a backup or
Yeah.
something, so it's. A few months is, I don't think gonna hurt us at all.
okay.
Yeah, very good spot.
And it's probably just from the standpoint of putting on, getting people to be interested in it, You know, you start talking September, October, people are starting to think about snow plowing season. They're not even thinking about
Right.
that now, so.
Do we know who it was?
I don't know, I told Doug I didn't know if we could tell who the buyers were on there, it's a Joe question.
Oh,
He's on vacation this last week, so I didn't have a chance to.
I don't think so. It's like a username.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
a
that's their name.
unique identifier.
Anything else on the Sterling? We're gonna hold off then for a while. Sounds like.
Table to at least
Yeah.
next application.
Roads update and wild parsnip update.
Well, we do have some wild parsnip. We're kind of behind the 8 ball on it.
Yeah,
This,
why?
we do spray this year. It's not gonna be real effective.
I think you'd use the number 25% effective.
25 effective this year. There will be a little carry forward for next year on the new growth.
When's the optimal time to spray that?
Al, spray.
About the 15th of May.
Okay. Wow. So is that like a free merge? Because you can hardly even see it the 15th of May, can you?
Yeah, the 15th of May is probably.
Oh, that's this high,
I know.
huge.
But if you mow it now, you're just spreading the
That's what
seeds.
they wanna do it, that's what they, that's,
So what if you sprayed it this year and sprayed it again next spring?
yeah, that's kind of the program, you kind of set your township up in different quarters.
We have it in these areas and it's pretty bad by the Parnell Prairie.
But we only spray in the road right away too. So I mean, it's,
Yeah, and there is others that's out of the road right away.
is it a boom truck that they come with?
No, this is for,
Yes, believe so.
well, he's got a picture here of his Jeeps.
They got an 11-foot spray pattern and they got a 22-foot spray pattern.
Did you find out what the chemical was they're using?
Down here, it talks about it in this thing.
Yeah. What they say, milestones, one of them that they're using, and then there's other ones like high beam.
Got it, so I don't.
well, and they're quite a bit cheaper than the county.
About the same.
Well, the county, what'd they tell you, 120?
The same, county's probably a little bit cheaper.
I thought it was 120 a lane mile. What was this?
75.
120 a lane. Okay.
Yeah, this was 75, I
This
thought.
is,
Where did I see it? Someone,
you wrote it down,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen it somewhere.
you wrote it down
This
that,
guy's spraying 14-foot width, they got 58 a lane mile,
58, yeah.
mowing.
So-
Yeah, they figure you got $112 of the lane.
I think it's on here,
That's mowing though.
That's the most.
no,
They
this
figured that's
has
what's
got
costing us.
the side labels on
If
it.
they use a 22-foot
Yeah.
boom, they said about 75-foot, 75 a lane mile, I think it was.
Right, and what's the county? I didn't ask Joel what the county used.
The
Are they the same width?
counties is 15,
Right,
I got the same Lawson.
so they're quite a bit cheap. These guys are quite a bit cheaper.
Well, they go wider, don't they?
Well, they go wider for 75 and
So
a mile and. The
County can't be
counties,
too active on there, so I mean, there's a lot on the county roads.
the county over on this side. What Sam explained to me, they got pretty good coverage on that side of town. This side of the county, they don't, because they get a lot of complaints, a lot of people that are against them.
Spraying?
Right.
If you look at your map where you highlighted everything. Follows a lot of the county roads. You came right up, they come down.
Go down County Road I.
They go down County Road, I built and took care of it all through the Escos that one time. They went through, took care of theirs, they went down and did
These are all.
their
county
mowing,
roads.
did they, who mows the
Built
guardrails?
this fall.
I'm gonna go back and watch that second.
And they got spread.
Okay.
Going to Tommy Blues.
It's pretty bad. up
Then you
there.
pretty much carried it all the way down into the other developments when you went down it. Pulled it right off of the intersections of County Road I.
It's really close to Parnell.
So clean your equipment before you go to the damn north end of town. Don't
We've
bring
been
that shit up there.
hardly any on it.
And don't bring it up there, don't
Stop
go
it.
over in the little section, stay out of the north end.
So what do you think it'll cost? 2,500,
Starting
2,000?
town, that one more, you see.
If. I guess just. I don't know, if we do like 15, 20 miles, 15, 20 miles. And that'd be
20 miles would be what, 20 times 75?
1,500 bucks.
Yeah.
You can spray the whole mile, I mean, what if it's just spot?
You don't have to spray it all,
So is he-
especially this year, because we're behind. You know,
Does he charge it for where he,
yeah.
the mileage that he's spraying?
They charge how much they use.
Summer.
Place rate on
Thank you.
that?
They're more willing to come up to a meeting. Oh,
Well, it sounds like we need to do it within the next 2 weeks to really, before it seeds.
Seeding, 2 weeks.
Do they do a lot around the area? Maybe I missed that conversation there.
Yeah, they ball in Farmington,
Oh,
Pass them down, Tim.
a lot of stuff that. Well, they're at the top, a lot of stuff that.
does Alden have good results with it?
Yeah. They're spraying plant growth inhibitor, so the grass don't grow, they spray early, then they don't fall. They just do the fall mowing.
Well, what do you think we need? 20 miles, 30 miles?
I would think 20 miles would it'd get us started. On some type of program.
Yeah. I mean, I'd recommend trying it and seeing.
Do you know if on these herbicides, do they affect the grass? Do they kill grass?
The one they're using for the parsnip does not kill grass. Pretty much all the ones they spray in the road ditches with killed grass, they got one that slows it down. So you don't have to mow.
It works a little bit. Richmond did it. I
Right,
wasn't
yeah.
impressed.
Uh,
Cause you still get trees and everything else. That's
This is. pretty-
Well, yeah,
pretty
'cause you
important
put-
stuff.
Right.
because
Absolutely.
stuff
Right.
is
Good stuff.
raised to EMS.
Right.
So,
I mean. You
Mowing's
want
still
buckthorn, you want buckthorn gone and all the poison
Right.
ivy gone, they can do that too.
right. So mowing is still ultimately, I think, the best, man.
Probably, really, yeah.
So we'll look for a motion, we'll do probably 20 miles and we're a not to exceed.
What,
22.
22 where it's a problem, and let's see. And where people mow their grass, they don't
Yeah,
do it because
It wouldn't be,
they're maintaining. You know,
the
there is-
last thing we want is them to go in and kill a bunch of people's grass.
no.
So what was it?
It doesn't
Only at the
grow.
22 feet?
It only grows.
I know, but we
About
don't want to
75.
drag it
Well,
all
that's
the
the
way
11 feet, ain't it?
20 miles.
75,
No, I think that was,
75 miles,
Ooh,
What?
22 feet,
22 feet,
No.
75,
What do you need 275?
$2
$2.75.
a month.
No,
No.
no, because 11 feet, $75.
Wally, what is your notes on that page? You
Doesn't
wrote
say
I think he
what,
told me 220, 275.
2.75
2.5,
mil.
what's mil?
This was
No, because the other one says it's $75.
For,
per lane.
Did you see this?
for 11 feet.
Oh,
You
you know
know what it
what?
is?
It's
Right, but so I said, what is 22 feet?
275.
No, because look at. You got 1.375.
One point, 375.
The thing
I
is,
think
yeah,
we're almost
Yeah.
done, right? We-
Yeah, 11 feet. You
Just
got
make sure you hit all those numbers.
approximately 1.375. You need my charger.
Oh,
You got
no, don't.
8 there's. And the reason, well, I know, well,
You're,
and that's approximately $25, so there's $75 for the lane step. So
right,
you're at
you're, you know,
$150.
you're just leaving.
Dollars for fine.
Then
Yeah, that's an age also. I was wondering what system.
This one, 22 feet,
Oh, that's, so that'd be 150, because it's over double.
Huh?
Thank you, Jason. Those are the numbers from,
Because we doubled this.
Okay, sounds good.
Seven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some kind of- like some kind of like 3 times this, but-
Did you answer?
What's that?
What?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Well, 1.37.
Wait, I was just trying, I don't understand what I'm saying. Because he's got $57 an acre.
Yeah.
No, just,
Let's just do a not to exceed Wally, find out what the price is per mile.
Yeah, oh, wait, no.
Let's just do 20 miles at 22 feet wide.
yeah,
Well.
and if it's 3,000 or
It's
4,000,
saying right now, I mean,
If it's 2X, that'd be 150.
yeah,
But see, it might not be exactly that if they do spot spraying and stuff.
Right. But let's just come up with a dollar amount then, that if we were gonna do 20 miles, but 22 feet wide. So that if it was,
3,000 max to,
yeah,
$3,500 or something.
yeah,
Okay, approximately 3,500.
a not to exceed.
Oh.
yeah.
So I'll make that motion to keep this moving as a not to exceed of $3,500.
second.
And as soon as possible.
Yeah. What was the available?
What's that?
He said they could.
I don't know. Oh, something came up that he needed.
Let's do that.
So this is, we're going with this company then?
Yep,
How about, are you done mowing?
Yes,
So the
no,
big,
I forgot those.
So I just want to clarify that the county is not 22 feet.
County's 13, what is it, 15 feet. County's 15.
Because they were 120. I just want to make sure we're,
Yeah,
Well, we want to go
Either
wide.
this guy's.
well, I know, but can the county go wider?
No. No, they're not set up for.
didn't make a motion.
Second.
All right.
Who seconded the motion?
Lenny?
I did.
Lenny,
Or Lenny?
Well, get it documented what we're doing,
Yeah.
but it's not to exceed $3,500. We'd like to try to get 20 miles of road lane
On these maps here,
on that map.
wherever that is.
how did you pick it all out if you mowed it all down?
Because it grew.
Oh, it's back high.
And it stemmed up?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Lenny, some of
Probably
it
3 feet, 4 feet high.
go out on the
Yeah,
corner.
even after they mowed it down, that it was,
No,
it didn't shoot back up that.
Have you seen it?
We'll do
No.
this year.
go on the corner of 188 Eloise Acres and 45th. It's,
160th,
it's really, it looks really tall.
160th and I.
160.
Or you could,
Not a bad corner.
you could bail it there.
And I had, that's why I hold that one out so wide.
Right, that one's bad there.
The more you mow it, the more it's.
There was, they said there was just an accident there and the sheriff's department was crawling all through that.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
When?
Yeah.
When?
You guys were out there, weren't you? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I seen your trucks there.
Wonder how many I was gonna.
Yeah.
What they,
Nobody ended up.
I was here for signing checks that day.
Last week.
They were just coming back.
Monday, Tuesday.
Okay,
next time Thursday.
motion made and approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving forward.
On the town roads, I just put a quick budget update, that shows where we are, with most of our budgets, the general fund, town hall. The other thing that it kind of ties into roads. We pulled back the, chip seal on the town hall parking lot. So you can see we went We're about 269 because we got 191 was our contract. We're currently at 86. And you subtract the 92.
Two.
Okay. So we're about 269 of 300. I did get a quote from a guy who does cement lifting, to see if we could level out some of the low spots, just to get us through maybe the next year or two. But he wanted, I think it was like $3,000 to do all that, and that's not doing any of the seams.
That was 8 inches thick.
Yeah, he can still do it with whatever the thickness is.
Really?
But that doesn't include doing any, do you know the rubber that's in the joints right now? Was that done by the county or,
Crack.
oh, they can't do it anymore, can they?
They can't do parking lots.
Mm-mm.
They won't do parking lots, remember?
Yeah, Joel said they won't.
They can't.
Well,
One of the headquarters don't know.
I guess my thoughts are if we can, you know, I don't know what we can do to,
Something like a rubberized crack though.
I mean, we can probably spend 5,000 in it, but I'm probably gonna recommend that we put replacing that in our budget next year. You know, we've got 55th, or is it 50th or 55th, and see if we can do that and the concrete here as part of our road maintenance, our routine road maintenance. And I know it's not road maintenance, but we can shift it to the, we can shift those dollars from road maintenance to the town shop
We
budget.
should have numbers. I mean, if we had a 4 or 5% increase per year,
Yeah.
I think Black Willow Concrete's
Is it
jumped up more than
possible to get
5%.
a quote on
So they're-
concrete before budget? So we know approximately
it's-
how much we're looking at?
Well, the problem is if they're budgeting it for this fall at the time, and we're not gonna do it till next year, it'll have already gone up.
But you need to figure out a budget.
Yeah, we can get pretty close. We can
An
inflate
estimate.
it maybe
Or
15%.
ask somebody that does it, what it is per square foot, right? And no. Well, that'll be one of the challenges then, is just to get that number, an estimate on what it'll be the next year,
Yeah.
you know.
Or, Wally, was that hot oil out there that they put in the cracks, or was it just emulsion
In the cracks on.
out in the parking lot there? In the concrete.
In the concrete, that was rubber crack though.
Is that possible to have Barner or Scott or someone do that?
Yeah, they both do that.
Yeah. You could
I mean,
you get a price from them on that, or?
we certainly could get I could talk to them both and,
You could talk.
Because really, that's all it really would need.
Big enough job.
What?
If they weren't in the area, that'd be enormous.
Well,
price.
yeah.
Shit,
Understood.
man.
Shit, that he must.
So-
might have something.
What a favor too now, I think, didn't
Actually,
he?
Scott, actually,
Okay.
I guess the question is, do we want to pursue doing something to the concrete this fall before elections?
Run the grinder.
Knock off the home for what?
what do you mean by that?
You can grind it,
Down?
just like they do on the highways.
Is that gonna be any cheaper than having it lifted?
I would
That's for
trust it more
people
than
that have
lifting it,
heard back
because
there.
if they're, what are they living with, foam or?
He uses, it isn't foam. I asked him
The
about
guy,
that.
same with the guy that
Like a
did
clay slurry.
Yeah, he mixes something in with it.
He uses a slurry,
it.
Yeah,
like a concrete slurry. Yeah, he said don't use foam.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Well, they
hold
work for
up
you
or-
too,
They
right?
are.
yeah,
It
It's
doesn't
good.
hold up or does it hard to control? Foam, why?
Saddles.
yeah.
I don't, he told, yeah,
Truck's way too much, just all the way back down.
and he did mine 3 years ago. And I drew a line where he did it and it hasn't moved at all, so.
I mean, we've got a budget there of 24 for town hall, other costs, general
Did
maintenance.
he give you a price for lifting the concrete?
He did, it was $3,000.
But you're,
don't take
are you in the,
problems.
you're not in the capital outlay fund, you're in the general,
Oh, okay.
so you're not.
That was the same guy we used? That you talked to?
That's who you got the bid from,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. So we have money in the capital outlay fund, cause I don't think we,
Spent
did we do
anything?
anything this year?
No, I
Yeah.
mean,
Nothing.
Did you pick up the-
Well, we'd have to-
Did on widening the road over there on Skull Camp? Where'd that come from?
Well, that would have been routine road maintenance. Cause it
Did
was,
that paving get
and I think
done?
where they widened it out, you just used mostly the gravel from the brack, didn't you?
Did you get that paved yet? The logging there?
He hasn't, they haven't done it. I'll have to call Joel and ask him when it's on their
Yes.
schedule.
Yeah,
He's off this week.
Good. Next, just on announcements and adjourn, we have a Parks Recreation and Planning Commission meeting next Wednesday on the 15th at 7 p.m. We have a special, that is not just a regular Fire Rescue Commission meeting on Wednesday, July 15th at 8 p.m. We were tentatively gonna have one tomorrow night, but kind of fell through. And then we have a joint town village board meeting, at the village hall on July 22nd at 7 p.m. And if you could talk to them, Joel, your president. Okay. And then we have the WTA St. Croix County Highway Shop one on July 23rd at 6:30.
Just so you know, I wish I could make the last two, but I'm gonna be down in Tennessee on a mission trip, so with my grandson.
On the joint meeting?
Yeah,
You can join that one by Zoom though, I believe.
I'll see if I
Yeah.
might be able to connect.
Be nice to have everybody in here.
Yeah,
So thank you for hitting the other one, was not able to do
I'll
that.
do my best. My wife might have a trip planned, so, but I'll try to be on Zoom. Or I will be on Zoom,
For which one? The joint?
yeah. But I'll be on Zoom if I'm gone.
Karate will make it though, but
I'll watch.
okay, look for him. Well, make it if you can. Yeah.
Oh,
can you get a copy of the RFP and send it to all the board members? Or send it to Jerry and she can get it out.
Was that in the book?
Because,
Yeah.
cause it lists the points that I think there was like 8 different criteria that they're looking for.
And I can help Jim tonight, I was saying too.
Yeah.
See if you had any more brochures, new brochures, they're saying they're making them. As far as different buildings that they've done recently. With price tags.
What was the price per square foot, do you know?
I don't remember that one that was like a $8 station, that was pretty standard, straightforward.
But just roughly per square foot. 'Cause I mean, going forward, you're gonna have to base your needs and how big do you wanna plan it. When we did talk to Teresa, they were 425 a foot for their open town hall meeting area.
Yeah, I don't, again, without the study to say what we need. To plan for the future, it's hard to say with the square footage should never be.
Where do we start? That's the part.
I don't know what we even have over there, well.
I don't know. Lenny, do you remember? What square footage that he has over there on the base level?
It's based upon 5,000 or 6,000, somewhere in there.
Less.
It's 70 feet wide, 100 feet long, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Can we go back to one thing, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
205th. I'd have to agree with Lenny. We were talking, what's gonna be the engineering fee to cut that hill? Because are we gonna be paying thousands of dollars? Or
It's a 2-hour sketch is basically all it is.
so it's not engineered then?
It's not engineered.
Okay, cause I'm worried that we're gonna get some big bill to just,
No, in fact, Carter was the one that was gonna do it and was basically going in, showing the elevations, so they both walked it with their
okay,
roamers, so that they knew what existing was. They would lay out the grades and then just do the calculation on what it would be with a 4-to-1 slope or a
Okay.
3-to-1 slope by the electrical box to see how much dirt gets moved.
all right. I just didn't want Jewel out there re-engineering the hill and getting a.
And if we weren't even
5,000.
gonna tie it into the existing plan, because then Carter said he couldn't do it if it was using the existing one.
Okay,
So, cause then you
Right.
get pretty deep in the CAD.
right.
Was the owner involved at all?
Yeah.
Of the house?
Yeah.
I just didn't wanna do big back slopes on a hill to where maybe he wanted to keep it for screening too.
He does want to keep it for screening. It comes in and it makes a big jog. So what happens, they're gonna come in, and even if they're cutting the hill down, you're still not gonna be able to see the house.
But they'll shave it enough to keep it from eroding and cover it with black dirt.
And there's very little black dirt out there.
Yeah. I do have one more question though too. On my regular email from the town, I'm getting a lot of stuff from attorney, well, same attorney. And other things,
It's a lot of,
spam stuff, and I was wondering if anyone else was getting it, and if it's something we just can't have Robbie, hey, can we just mark this, give
if
you.
you have a specific one, you can send it to him and
I
you
don't
can,
know.
no,
But
He's
what,
gonna,
what you can do is if you put it into your
Whitelist.
spam, if you delete them.
I don't even touch them. I don't even.
But if
touch
you
them.
put them into your spam, then it knows that it's spam and he can actually. Blacklist it so that it
What-
doesn't
white-
come through. Whitelist
Jim,
means
was
it comes through.
You were working on the driveway things because Jerry got a email or a phone call. Wally got one too. Did you
Did
run
you
through
use
AI on
AI?
any of that?
For that driveway permit form, did you use AI?
No,
You didn't?
no,
You made that yourself?
yeah,
That's really coincidences.
This is the one I'm getting is from an attorney. Government leaders face personal liability from hidden AI and social media. I mean, that's.
I'm
We get a
getting
lot
that
of-
one too,
We get
though.
a lot of,
I'm getting that
we
one.
get a lot of.
We've got the website one that comes, she sends me 2 a day.
Well, then Rob will take care of it.
there's a GoGov one. They're trying to, they're a competitor with HeyGov.
Way back. Little insight into Friend's world.
Did you get the one where Jerry was trying to set up a
PayPal.
PayPal?
I don't open it unless it says.
And-
Well, I didn't open it, but I was like, a PayPal on a Saturday morning? Yeah, right. It was pretty obvious,
Think so.
but.
So on that note, like I say, I tried to pick up that I did that one meeting today and I realized, no, this isn't onboarding. What do we need to do? Because I thought with the know before, they would start offering, first they'd offer you a class to go in and learn what you shouldn't be doing. And then they would be testing you by sending you emails to see if you've understand what spam and what you shouldn't be doing as far as opening emails. And I didn't get the impression that Know Before is doing that.
No, so I got the task to take that to begin with, okay? And when it first started, it was like a 1 hour session with the guy each time, how to set it up, add the members and stuff like that. And then immediately it got really deep where I had to go in and do the whitelisting and then the blacklisting in different domains. And it's like, okay, I can't handle this, so I had Rob do it, so he went in and did it, and actually after from then, it was just like, well, crickets, nothing came through from them at all, so.
Okay,
But they don't do the send out the training, so where I work right now, we actually have an IT firm that sends out tests, and if you actually accept a spam, then it requires you to do a test so you understand. So the more you open suspicious emails, the more tests you actually have to do.
okay. But that's not how Know Before works.
Know before, and I know that somebody else, I think the county was using it, or who was using it,
Jason said the county used it.
but.
They handed over their
It was
IT
way
department.
beyond my IT capabilities to get it signed up.
Tell you.
So do we pay for it?
We had paid for
Yeah,
1
we
year.
paid for 1 year.
I would
feel
say we
like
don't
taking no
probably-
test to be printing paper copies.
Sound like poop, man.
You like paper, huh?
Yeah. I'll call for a motion for to adjourn. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So pass. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
So
Hope you're entertained.
you want me to send the village a request to put very mowing agenda? You gotta